thebsimmons.com. So you can like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you want to do. And let me know in the comments whether this video is helpful for you or not. So, if you don't know, I just bought a house. So, actually, I bought a house back in March. Yeah, so I bought a house back in March. The house was a new build, so it wasn't completed until July. So I moved in on July the 12th or 13th, I think I closed, and then I moved in that same exact day. So here I am. I've been in my house for over a month now, almost 2 months actually. In the next couple of weeks will be 2 months. I would say my first, besides my car, my first big girl purchase. So I had my parents assist me a lot through the process. So side note, this wasn't even in my notes, but definitely have you an advisor, somebody besides like the loan officer, the realtor, somebody besides the company that can help you out. So like if you know somebody who's bought a house recently, if you know somebody who's in real estate that's a good friend, somebody that can keep it real with you, definitely have somebody in your corner for that. So I've been living in this city for 2 years now, and I decided that it was time for me to stop renting and stop wasting my money on rent. Renting is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that, but me personally, where I live, the rent prices were skyrocketing, as well as the housing market. So me personally, I decided I wanted to be on the housing market skyrocket. So when I do decide to move somewhere else, or if I do decide to, make something else of this property, then the property will have increased in its value by then. I just wanted to bring you some points from my experience before you even purchase a home. So I know there's a lot of courses, there's a lot of classes. I personally even took a home buying course that was very helpful, but there's 3 main things that you really, I think it's 3. So there's actually 4 main things. There's really 3, but I added a 4th because this is from personal experience. So let's get started. First thing that was very, very important was my debt to income ratio. So basically, debt to income ratio is how much debt do you have versus how much you are making in your income. So debt as in student loans, medical bills, credit card debt, personal debt, car note, maybe you have another house, maybe you have, I don't know, you took a loan out with the company before, things like that. So think about what is your debt? Like, what do you owe? Like me personally, I still owe student loans, car payment. Thank the Lord I am personal debt free. But my loan officer, since my debt wasn't that high, she made me pay off my credit card bill, like all my credit cards, before I closed. So it is very important to determine that. So that brings me to my second point, and honestly, these 2 points are very hand in hand. What is your credit score? And I know you've probably heard this millions and millions and millions of times. Every time you go in to buy something and you're not putting the whole amount down, they're checking your credit score. When I say this is so important. Like, it's the most important thing of buying a house. Besides having the money, your credit score is the second most important thing. So you need to figure out what your credit score is and start building that up before you buy a home. Because even if your credit score, so you may get denied if your credit score is not good enough, or even if your credit score is average, there's loans that you may not qualify for. You'll end up paying additional fees, end up paying additional things towards your monthly mortgage payment, and we don't want that to happen. So I want to make this process as easy as possible, save you as much money as you can, so make sure that your credit score is great. So this brings me to my next point, which is also very related to debt to income ratio and credit score. You need to have money saved up. If you don't have money saved up, you do not need to be looking for a house. You need to be looking for an apartment. That's it. People try to make this picture of like, oh, you're paying $1,000 in rent, you might as well buy a house and pay $1,200 in mortgage. Yes, that's very true. But there's a lot of other expenses that comes to owning a home. And me, 30 days in, I've realized that already. Honestly, like, there's so much going out. So you have to, first you have to pay when you buy a home. It depends on what loan that you decide to go with. So me personally, I went with a loan that didn't have me stuck here or didn't force me to be here for, you know, a certain amount of time. They do have first-time home buyer loan programs. I don't know the details about that, but I'm sure you can find that on YouTube, but this is not for that. So you need to have a lot of money saved up, and honestly, it's whatever you feel is a lot. I know me personally, I had a certain amount saved up, because I knew that I wanted to first be able to afford my home. I wanted to have at least 3 to 4 months saved up just in case something were to happen with my income. And I wanted new furniture. Throughout the whole home buying process, first you have your closing costs, and then you have these other little fees that may come in, and then you have your closing costs. And like I said, depending on the loan that you decide, that down payment and that closing cost is, I mean, it shocked me. Like, I had money saved up, but when I saw, like, wow, I have to pay this much, and then I have to pay this much again, I'm like, didn't I already just pay that amount? But, I mean, it's worth it, but you have to have money saved up. Like, don't let society tell you that you don't need a rent, and you over here scooping up change just to buy a house. No. If you don't have a good bulk of money in your savings account, you need to rent or stay at home. That's just it. And the third thing that I would say is to pray. So y'all know that I am very spiritual. I love the Lord. So I'm telling you what was best for me. Pray. Like, you need to figure out what exactly you want. Figure out if it is best for you, because like I said, renting versus owning a home, completely different. Renting may be best for you, so you don't want to be forcing yourself into owning a home if it's not for you. And you have to think about things like location, like cost, like maybe how far your job is. That goes back to location. It's a lot of different factors that you have to really decide on when buying a home. So that's why I would just say pray about it. Just make sure it is the best decision for you. My point of this video was to just give you a couple of things before you even think about buying a home. Like, maybe you know that you want to own a home one day, or you want to own a home in the next couple of days, or excuse me, not days, next couple of years, and you don't know like exactly where to start. So like I said, first check your debt to income ratio. How much debt do you owe versus how much money do you make? Then check your credit score. If your credit score is not where you want it to be, then you need to go ahead and start improving that. Start paying off some of that debt. Start paying your bills on time. And then my third point was make sure you have money saved up. Honestly, all these things go very hand in hand, but I believe that this is probably the most important things that you need to know before you even start the process. But anyways, so just let me know if you took anything from this video. Comments, questions, concerns, whatever you have.